The story of the wise teacher and the jar.
Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a wise old teacher. He was known throughout the region for his wisdom and the effectiveness of his teachings. One day, he decided to teach his students a practical lesson about priorities and the value of time. The wise teacher stood before his class with a large, empty jar. He filled the jar with large rocks until no more could fit. He asked his students if the jar was full, and they agreed that it was. The teacher then brought out a bag of pebbles and poured them into the jar, shaking it slightly so the pebbles could disperse themselves among the larger rocks. Again, he asked if the jar was full, and the students responded with a unanimous yes. Next, the teacher brought out a bag of sand and poured it into the jar, filling the remaining space between the rocks and pebbles. He asked one last time if the jar was full. The students, catching on, hesitated before one answered, "Probably not." The teacher smiled and said, "Correct." He then took out a jug of water and poured it into the jar until it was truly full. The students watched in awe as the teacher explained, "This jar represents your life. The rocks are the important things, your family, your health, your values. The pebbles are the other things that matter, your job, your house, your car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff." He continued, "If you put the sand into the jar first, there is no room for the pebbles or the rocks. The same goes for life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you will never have room for the things that are important to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Play with your children, take care of your health, take your partner out to dinner. There will always be time to clean the house or fix the disposal." The wise teacher's lesson that day taught his students more than any textbook could. It reminded them to focus on the important things in life and not to let the small stuff take precedence. And so, they learned the value of priorities and the importance of managing their time wisely.